Welcome to our Posh podcast. I am your host, Gabrielle, and I'm here with my amazing co-host, Marcella, my daughter.
Hello.
And my Puerto Rican buddy, Bernie.
You know, Marcella has the
anymore?
most I know, right? What was that? It's like the most consistent hello since I've been on the
I know, it
show.
hasn't
Your hello
changed.
has not even like a tempo and a tone.
That's
It's always
true.
like, hello.
Hello. That's true.
And then my favorite spider in the back there,
Hello.
taking care of us and being so kind and doing everything we need to do for the show all the time. And
Spider.
I'm not kind.
you
I'll
are
tell you that.
so kind.
Where's
we love
the theme
you.
music? Like, there's always some theme music on that's not playing right now. Where'd it happen?
Oh, wait. The volume wasn't up. Here we go.
Oh, there you go.
What is it?
What up, y'all?
That's my favorite.
And we have a very special, interesting guest on today. And I have so much trouble saying his name correctly, but
Let's
he's
hear it.
gonna
What do you
he's
say?
European.
going
Let's see if she says
to
it
I
right.
want to hear what she says.
help me. I never know if it's Amar or Amir, and it's Elborai.
You're so wrong on
You're
both.
very, yeah, that's, you're off on
Like,
both,
no
but
way.
that's
How'd you say the
Fascinating.
last name?
Elborai.
Elborai is correct.
Okay, but the first name, I can't say his first name.
That'd be like, are you going to call mine Barini? Barini?
Yeah,
No,
Yeah,
because his name is AMR, and I'm like, well,
Amr.
Amar.
Yeah, you can blame my parents for that.
Amr.
Do you?
Amr.
But
So it's
Amar.
Amr.
Amar.
Yes.
But I'm sure he'll let you call Amrar.
Yeah, you can call me
Is
whatever.
it
Amar.
short for anything, or that is like
no,
your
that's
full
my name. So basically, like in Arabic, it's 3 letters in Arabic. So I'm Egyptian, and so it's spelled with 3 Arabic letters. And though my parents translated it verbatim, letter for letter, but you can't pronounce it that way.
Clearly.
Clearly.
Exactly.
I see.
Well, I think it's very interesting and unique, just like he is. And we met him. Bernie met Amr.
Yeah.
Hey, that was much
Right.
better than the initial interpretation for sure.
A few weeks ago, right?
Yeah,
And
so it was really cool. The way I met Amr was I was on a date with an old friend of mine that I've known for 30 some odd years, and we just reconnected. I think we were connected on Hinge. And then I know, and we've talked. We're on social media friends, but since we connected on Hinge, we swiped right or whatever it was for Hinge. Started connecting, and then
Did you know it was her?
no, we totally knew. Absolutely.
Oh, I was like,
we're,
maybe you didn't
we're
see her.
friends on social media, so we knew.
Well,
I'm not wearing a mask right now.
no, just put
Move
it
it.
away.
I'm not wearing that
And
mask.
it's a pink mask. Is that pink?
I got that out of the hospital. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry
I
about
could
that.
take them. I was like, I'm not wearing a mask.
No.
No matter what. You liberal. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so she invites me on a date to some birthday party. No, I'm like, okay, it's a house in South. Like, I know nothing about it, but I have nothing planned that night. She's cool. Like we're friends.
It was his house.
Yeah. So
Got it.
yeah. So, but I don't know what his house looks like. I didn't look it up or anything. I just go into a birthday party as a date to a friend. So we get there, and it was really interesting. So the minute I turned on it, because I'm GPSing it, I've never been to his house. So when I pull into the street, I came from the other side of Carroll.
Yeah.
So I had to make a right onto
This
his
is
street.
in South Lake, Texas.
This is in South Lake,
everyone
Texas.
listening.
And so the minute I pull into the street where I get in any distance of his house, I see the number 5 and 0 in bright lights. It's nighttime.
What is it?
The number 5 and then 0, 50. And I'm thinking,
Oh,
the fuck? And I look at it and I notice I know it's a birthday party. I know what it means. And I'm thinking, my what the fuck is in the sense of like, holy shit. So it says 50 on the 3rd floor of the top of this house to signify happy 50th birthday to somebody. But you can see it
so
a
you could see it
block
from everywhere.
away.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I thought, holy shit, this is really cool. Which it was cool. I've never seen that. Most people, when they do like a birthday number or sign, it's in like a cardboard like cutout or
Yeah.
a balloon.
Or balloons.
It's nighttime and it's like these aluminum, whatever. I don't know what that was.
I don't know what it was either. It's actually so it was one of my friend's 50th birthday parties, and he asked me about 4 months ago. He's like, "Hey, can I have my birthday party at your house?" I was like, "Fuck is wrong with your house? Your house is fine. Have it at yours." He's like, "No, your house is much nicer."
I would have my birthday party at
Yeah,
your
but
house.
he has a beautiful home.
He does.
That's
It
what
doesn't
he
matter.
has.
Keep it until January.
And I was like, "Yeah, there you go." So I was like,
Please.
So I go, "Sure, you can have it at my house." So his wife did everything.
It was
She literally
crazy.
spent 48 hours at my house organizing all this stuff. And she's like, "Can we put this big 50 in the front?" And I was like, "Yeah, put it on the top floor so everybody could see it." And
There's no one
Smart.
who could not see this
Yeah,
thing. So I
yeah.
pull in and I mean, like I said, I don't know Amr at all. I've never met him. I'm kind of overwhelmed, and I very rarely get overwhelmed where I'm like, oh, fuck, how am I going to find anyone? It's a pretty significantly massive house. So the minute I walk in there, luckily my friend and her sister, my date and her sister were there waiting for me. And you walk in, it's crazy. The whole front lawn, it's very overwhelming in a good way. You're like, it's a wow factor. Everything that, like, most people have grass. He has AstroTurf, and without seeing it.
Pretty beautiful.
And the reason I'll even give the address is because it's online for sale. So anyone looking,
What are you talking about?
The address is, what's the address? It's 320.
No. It's 2103 North Carroll Avenue.
So North Carroll
And
Avenue,
we call it
Southwick.
conservation grass. It's
Is that
not
what it's called?
AstroTurf.
Okay,
that's
yeah,
what the
clearly.
realtors like to call.
So Amr creates custom amazing homes, and if you guys get a chance, you gotta go to Zillow and put this address in, which is again
2103 North Carroll
in
Avenue.
South Lake, Texas. It's
So
insane.
that is kind of what I want to talk about, because then
start.
we got invited to the house, and I fell in love with this house. I need this house in a different way, somewhere, somehow,
Well, hold
something.
on. Before you go in there, I wanted to give a very short backtrack on how it got to this point where you guys came over. So I go into the house. It's amazing. The minute you walk in, it's just very just modern. It's like nothing I've ever seen in Texas anywhere. It's more of like a West Coast feel. It's beautiful, right? Everything is very smooth. It flows really well. So we get there. I meet Vin. I have no idea who he is. I mean, I'm meeting everyone for the first time. I meet Amr. I know he's the owner, but I'm meeting so many people. I'm not really putting to perspective that, okay, he's the owner. He's cool, because he's just, if you ever get a chance to meet him, he's very humble. You would never know that mansion is his mansion because he's just humble. His vibe is really cool, truly.
Thanks.
And then, I'm meeting other people through the night, and we end up sitting and talking at the end of the night. And I'm like, man, I love your house. What was your motivation? Because when you guys look it up online, you'll see it's insane. But his motivation was based on travel, and I'll let you tell about that. But we just connected at that point, like organically connected, became, friends. And then the next week, we just happened to discuss, we both had kids. He invited us, Jet and I, over to his house with his son and his daughter. And we got a chance to just connect. And we immediately organically became really close friends. And so my thought was, because you know how much I love you and Patrick and Marcella and Gino. No, yeah, I know everyone who listens knows that. We're like a second family.
Yeah.
I was telling Amr about you guys. I was like, this is like my second family. I need to connect everybody here, because I'm all about good connections. I clearly learned that he's the same way. And then you guys got to come over, do dinner, and then I'll let you go from there.
Well, and so we were excited. We always, when Bernie says he wants us to meet someone, we always know it's going to be quality, amazing people. So we always right away excited, and same vice versa. We do the same thing.
Yes.
So, but when I walked in the house, I knew immediately it was so much my style, and I wanted to talk about. Well, your company name is Elborai Custom Homes, and I wanted you to tell us a little bit, because you had a hedge fund company before that, or what was it called? I don't know enough about it.
My background is investments. So basically, I have I finished economics undergrad.
You graduated from SMU?
I graduated from SMU with economics. Then I later went to grad school, did an MBA, and I basically worked all my life in investment management. So I've worked in positions in banks, hedge funds, private equity. But in 2009, I pretty much left corporate America, and I started working with my family to develop our real estate portfolio. And then in 2016, I broke off completely on my own and built a private equity company to do real estate, but then I also did startup capital for new companies. Now I'm focusing 100% on real estate, and specifically residential, because when I started doing all this back in 2009, I took my real estate development experience from the hedge funds, but that wasn't really on the ground. So that was more like doing the analysis and kind of seeing if this deal makes sense or doesn't make sense. It's a structuring aspect of it. And I really enjoyed it. But even before that, I always loved real estate. I just did. And not real estate as in like accumulating leases and being a landlord. I don't want to do that. That's not my thing. It's just when I walk into buildings, I notice things. I love it. I mean, as a kid, when I traveled with my family, I remember going to Germany, going to Spain, a lot of areas in the Middle East, and there's like all these lights and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, that's nice, but I like the buildings for some reason or other. I just do. And, but I didn't think anything of it. So, my dad was a mechanical engineer, and he pushed me to start engineering school. So I started SMU as an engineer, first year. And then I realized after starting, that's a 5-year program. I was like, I don't want to stay in school for 5 years.
God, no kidding.
So I switched over to economics. And, but I've always loved real estate. And so going back to 2009, I started developing real estate portfolio for my family, mostly industrial, commercial stuff. But I started taking on the design aspect, the interior design aspect of it, because I really liked it. And it's the only time that I can literally sit down for hours and hours and not get bored and not lose focus.
So you do the whole thing, like the building and interior design?
I do A to Z.
It's crazy. When I got a chance to see it,
unbelievable.
when he was showing the plans of how he did the houses now, it's unbelievable. Like it really, there's whatever software, whatever you use, it's really cool how he can really put it together.
I learned CAD during COVID. So
You learned what?
CAD, like computer-aided design. So
Oh my God.
so it's not that hard. So basically,
impressive.
Well, you went to school for economics
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, well,
And-
you're very smart.
and you're
Just a little bit
yeah.
smart.
and I'm a
It's
guy
very smart.
like I'm a guy that can't even draw a circle freehand. Like if you ask me to draw a square freehand, I could not do it. I cannot draw freehand, but on a computer, I can do it fairly easily. So, but anyways, I was at home during COVID for 6 months, and I'm thinking, well, you know what? Instead of like all the designs I did, I would draw it out. Actually, like on Microsoft Excel, using boxes and lines,
shit.
and serious, like on
Wow.
Microsoft Excel, and I would give it to an architect to put it in architectural, format. And then after, doing this, you know what? I'm gonna see if I can learn CAD. I mean, hell, if I can learn Portuguese, we'll talk about that later. But
Yeah, that's another conversation for sure.
We're getting to that. Don't worry.
I can learn CAD. So I started kind of playing with it, and I figured it out. I mean, I know someone who's an architect for a living can do this in their sleep, but I need to be able to design the layout so I kind of know where the direction of the house is going, which way it goes.
So then the whole like furniture decorating, you do that too?
Yes. So like for this
God,
particular
everything.
house, I did the house, like, so I did the drawing, the layout, the construction, the interior finish out, and every last detail down to the last throw pillow.
and nobody helps you. You do all of this.
No one helped me.
Not one
How's
person.
that possible?
Not crazy.
Not a single person.
What?
No, serious.
I know what I like, but I
I
would need
saw the
somebody to
house.
put it together for me. There's
I know. And here's the kicker. I bought all that furniture online. I didn't even see the colors.
Online?
Yeah.
What website? Or all over? Or
There's all
different?
over the place from wherever. I didn't go sit on a sofa or a bed or none of that. It's just
For
straightforward.
those listening, go check out the address and you can
Yeah,
see
no
all
kidding.
the furniture. It's really, I mean, the thing is, it's not a smorgasbord of just blah. It's really well thought out.
it is a Pinterest dream
It
house.
is a
It really
Pinterest.
is.
That's what I kept saying. It's
Thank
like
you.
stuff
Oh,
I've pinned.
Yeah, that's
Which-
right. You did say that.
I'm not kidding. And so I'm like, oh my God, all of this is on my Pinterest, but I can see it. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I love that. But I can never put it together.
In other words, she wants to buy your house.
There you go. It's for sale.
Except I'm poor. So I can't buy anything.
Well, and I mean, I didn't plan to sell this house. So when I built this
Oh,
house,
that was actually my next question.
Yeah, go
like,
ahead.
did you build it to sell it,
No,
or you
absolutely
built it for
not.
yourself?
I built it for me.
So-
It's a big house. I mean, it's a 6-bedroom home. I live alone. I don't even have a fish. And so there's,
It's a lot
it's
of work.
like literally
It's
I
so
just live
awkward.
alone. It's not a lot of work. It really isn't a lot of work because I have cleaning
You
crew
still have
that
to feed
comes
the
and
fish.
cleans. Well, yeah. Oh, the fish. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
the
what I
fish is
mean. I'm
really
talking about
easy.
the animals.
No, the fish. That's an easy deal.
Animal,
So yeah, I got
singular.
no fish, no house plant, nothing, just me. And so the reality is, I built it for me and for the kiddos when they come over, but I didn't have a plan to sell it. I knew that eventually I would sell it, maybe 5-6 years in the future, and monitor the market.
When did you finish it?
I finished it last year in August,
Okay.
August 19.
All right. So you live in it, you love it, and then what made you decide to sell it?
The market. I knew I was going to sell it
Wow.
at some point. And I figured, okay, I'm just going to time the market and see how it does. And that's what I've dabbled in the stock market I lost my ass. I have dabbled in private equity, in venture capital. I've won some, I've lost some. The only thing I've consistently done well with is real estate, specifically residential real estate. Only when I built a house for me have I done really well. So like when I build something from my heart, like when I really envision the way it's going to look and the way it's going to come together.
And how you're going to live in it.
And not, well, yes and no, not necessarily how I'm going to live in it. So, I've built houses before just because I wanted to have a badass house that'll impress people. It wasn't really because this is how I want to live it. I was just thinking this is going to look pretty awesome. I'm a single guy. I've been single for 7 years. I want a badass house. So
single ladies, check out the house. Check out the house.
So it's not a lie. And any guy who tells you it's not important is lying.
Yeah,
you could live here.
Because
you can get to enjoy it if you do.
I mean, ego is part of who we are as human beings. That's what I believe. And if anyone says, I don't care about how I look, or I don't care about what I drive or what I wear, that's not correct. That's not true. Maybe, but
well, then you look like a slob, and that's weird.
And so
for sure, there's nothing sexy about a slob.
But every house I've done well on has been really because I envisioned it from my heart. Like, really, here's how I want it to look, and it worked, and it comes true. And so I kind of start from the top down. So like this house that you guys visited, I bought furniture. Some of the furniture was purchased before I designed the rooms that the furniture was going to go in, because I wanted the room to be for that furniture.
That's crazy. That's pretty awesome.
And obviously, I'm not gonna
God given. Like it has to
for sure.
But you gotta also be smart. Like obviously, I'm not gonna build a room around a twin size bed, because then I can't do anything with that room later.
But it's your part of your envisionment of greatness, something that, but just like you said, to what you said of everything that you've built from passion for yourself. So to be able to buy a piece of furniture and envision building something around that says a lot. I agree with Marcella. That's like an incredibly God-given, universe-given.
Yeah, because I could look at furniture and be like, I love that furniture, build a room around it, but I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Right.
And somebody do that for me.
Most people buy furniture doesn't go with any part of their house.
Well, and a lot of builders, they'll build, and this is not a knock on builders. It's just, this is the way the industry has evolved, that you build a room. And I understand, if you're a mass builder, you can't design for that's crazy. It's not cost effective. It's not economical. But if you're building, you'll build a room, 15 by 16, and that's a good sized dining room for whatever dining room furniture you could. But it's not the size of the room. It's the ingress and egress of the room, and the way the room sits, and the way the room lays out. There's a lot of it that goes into it. And I spend, months designing before I even start building. I mean, that's how I do it. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Tell us what does the future look like for Elborai Custom Homes?
Well,
good
like
job.
I said,
good job.
It looks great. No, I mean,
plans. What do you want it to be?
What I have that is in my advantage to maybe other builders is that I don't need to make a killing on every home to put food on the table, because I have real estate investments that are doing well. So I don't have to do this. I want to. So I'm doing it because I love it. And I'm not building homes, that someone else designed and, hey, here's a floor plan, build it for me. No, there's 100 other GCs that can do that in their sleep. Here's a traditional or Victorian or, country chic or whatever you want to call it. No, I'm not going to do that, because again, it's not my passion. I would be doing you a disservice if I accepted it, because you can find somebody else to do it. What I want to do is build true contemporary in the North Dallas area. No, I mean, not North Texas area, Dallas, Fort Worth area, what have you. And I really want to help customers who know they want contemporary, but all they're seeing is what we call contemporary around here. And I really want to help customers who have sort of a vision, but aren't quite sure how to get there. And so that's what I want to do. Basically, work with a customer hand in hand to create something and to see it from A to Z, from like the lot development aspect of it to the interior, the floor plan, the exterior, the design, even the landscaping, even the swimming pool.
It's pretty crazy.
That's pretty awesome.
But, if you think about it, with that being said, if you think about what we're used to seeing in Dallas or Fort Worth, the common build, we see some houses that are $2, $3, $4, $5 million homes that are definitely wow factors, but
they're so old looking.
But they're think of even some of the quote unquote contemporary ones that we're kind of jail. I don't know if we're like stuck in a thought process of what is contemporary, what's available, or what we can do. And then you see something like what you put together, Amr, and it's crazy because it opens up your mindscape of like, holy shit, I didn't realize you could even do that.
See, I have missed that my whole life living here because being from Austria, I'm very used to this kind of style, and it's always been my love. And I built one house before
in Austria or here?
No, here.
And she had this is like the house that there's a lot of feelings about it.
The mafia house.
Well, yeah, it's the mafia house.
So are the feelings? I know what I get the gist of it. Is it good feelings or bad?
No, she put everything into it. She said it was
hard
like
to build a house.
I mean, even down to like the what's this called?
Every single
baseboards.
no, but
like
the plugs.
I mean, where you put it, right? It's
you have to lay it out.
That goes
Really?
into it. Yeah, it's crazy.
Why am I just hearing this right now?
We haven't gotten to that part of the mom story.
All right.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I built one that was contemporary, but it was so difficult because the builder didn't understand what I really wanted, and there was so much. It was nonstop fighting. Like I felt like I was always fighting with the builder because he couldn't understand it, and if I wanted something, he made fun of me, and he was like, "Oh, that's not going to look great," and I'm like, "But
it's not just the builder; it's the builder and his subs. So the subcontractors. So a builder, generally speaking, is just the general contractor. It's a project manager, so to speak. The subcontractors, if they don't understand, so there are, for example, electricians out there, large electrical companies they can come out here and knock this whole building out in 2 weeks, done, finished. But then you get an electrician that understands connect like Z-Wave technology, the smart plugs, understands, low voltage and what it requires, understands that you can't just buy low voltage from Amazon and expect it to work flawlessly, understand that some dimmers and some low voltage don't work together.
Never thought about this conversation.
Me neither.
A lot of electricians, I'm not mocking electricians.
No, I don't think you are.
It's just that if you're a company and you're an electrical company and what you do is you do 200 houses a year, but they're all standard, and then you try to retrofit it later, it's a pain in the ass.
Wow.
And it doesn't cost any more to set it up properly the first time around. So I was lucky enough to find an electrician who understands this very well, and so it didn't take me time to coach him. Whereas like the baseboards in my house, I had one guy, a carpenter, quote me $60,000 for labor. I was like, dude, $60,000 for labor. What the hell are you doing for $60,000 for labor? And then I had another guy quote me $12,000. I was like, okay, I'll go with that guy. But then I spent weeks having to train him and having to install and remove and discard and replace.
Oh my goodness.
But even all of that cost me $25,000. Okay, but it's not 60. So, and now this guy's going to work with me from now on because he understands how to do it.
That's good.
And it's just a matter of finding the right labor. So what you ran into is not that the builder didn't care, he didn't want to help you, he just didn't have the
it was so
manpower.
difficult. Like I couldn't. My cabinets, I wanted them to be contemporary, and it was almost impossible.
No.
I mean, it was like that was an unbelievable undertaking.
I'm
what
surprised
I had to go
that
through
with a custom build like that. I guess, I mean, hearing this is interesting for me because it opens up the mindset. Because I'm thinking, if you go to builder, I'm thinking until now, if you go builder and say, this is what I want, they just do it. Clearly, that's not the case.
It's not the case because it used to be like, okay, so back in 05, 06, 07, everybody was building these, mansion-looking homes, right, with a triple crown molding and wood everywhere and all that stuff. And it's cool. It feels like you're in a fortress, right? It feels very solid when you're inside. And so back then, even I thought, building modern is cheap because there's no crown molding, there's none of this. But it's not cheap because the key is every wall has to be perfectly straight. Because if the wall isn't straight, the framing isn't straight, then the drywall isn't straight. And then back then they would charge you money to do this heavy texture on the walls, right? Mm-hmm. They call it hand trowel texture, and they charge you for that. But the reality is, all that does is hide how shitty the wall really is.
No kidding.
That's all it does. You don't see it because it breaks up the light.
Wow.
So if you want a straight wall and you do smooth finish, like really smooth finish, like museum level finish, you're going to see every single imperfection. So what's inside the wall has to be perfect. Otherwise, I mean, even on this house, I had to take down 3 walls, take them down completely and redo them just to make sure that they're straight. And
Could you envision like your own neighborhood with just your homes? Or is this...
That's the goal.
That's the goal.
Yeah,
So that would be so cool.
Wow, that would be crazy.
Yes.
And to kind of bring it
Like having custom homes by Amr.
Yeah.
Way to go. We're doing good. We're growing.
Like I can see the sign, and then you have that whole neighborhood.
God, imagine what that
houses
would
like
look
that.
like.
Oh.
That would be
It'd be cool.
insane.
I mean, that's the goal really, is to do a whole neighborhood, maybe just 12 homes at a single street, different styles. But the thing is, like, you know, there are so many beautiful homes in Texas that were built very private. You know, so I was with customers this morning in their home to see how they're living, and so that's another thing. How do I design my houses? I don't even care. I don't want to know if you want modern, contemporary, 2-bedroom, 4-bedroom. I want to know, how do you live? You know, so how do you live? Where do you eat your breakfast? Where do you go in the backyard? Do you not go in the backyard? What do you want? And so, like, I was talking to these customers. Oh, well, we don't want a window in our bathroom. We don't want a window in our tub. I'm like, well, but why? You live on an 1.5 acres. It's heavily treed. It would take a pervert to actually sneak up on your lot and get a pair of binoculars to watch you at night. And if that's the case, you know what? You got other problems. It's not the window. It's not. So like for my house, you've seen the bathroom. So it's not huge. So it's a good use of space. So people want space in their bathroom. So what do? They increase the footprint. They increase the square footage, which just adds to the cost. Well, what I did is I added a giant window right by the bathtub.
It's crazy.
And so the bathtub is sitting in front of a window where you think, well, dude, do you really want to take a bath? Well, yes, because outside the window, I created a courtyard. So what did it cost me? A fence and some bamboo and uplights. Done. And now I feel like I'm actually sitting outside. And you guys have seen it. It feels like you're sitting
feel like
out
you're in
in a garden.
Resort kind of
Yes.
like it is. I mean,
So
it's
great.
just crazy.
And
the bathtub
beautiful.
too.
And I
It's
didn't have
insane.
to add any square footage. But without that window, the bathroom would feel very tight. And it doesn't feel that way.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Absolutely brilliant.
Thank you.
Anyone, really, really go check it out. And if anyone is interested in,
Is there anybody else who does something like this at all that you know of?
yeah, there's a couple of really high-end builders in Dallas.
Okay.
Can I say their names?
No, don't.
No,
Don't
don't.
say their name.
Okay, so don't say their names.
No,
I won't
hell
say their
no.
names.
Sorry, no. we're making this show about you.
Well,
so,
this is all about you.
There's a couple of high-end builders in Dallas, but the issue is,
and by Dallas he means Azle, Texas, not Dallas.
But here's, like, I'll give you an
DFW.
example. So when I called one of these builders when I was building this house, before I built the house, before I decided to do it myself, I thought, well, maybe I'll have a builder
Do it.
that knows how to do this, do it, and then at least, okay, now I understand. Well, he quoted me a stupid, ridiculous price. I'm like, what the hell are you building for these? There's no way. And the case in point is I built it for, not half of it, but maybe 2/3 of it.
Wow.
And
Okay.
So you would say, is this probably your most passionate work
Yes.
ever?
this
Yeah.
house, you mean?
Yeah.
No,
Or
I
just
just
this work
mean
in general?
this, like what he's getting into, like
Oh.
building this.
It's
and-
absolutely what I love. There's 2 passions. There's actually 3 passions in my life. Obviously the kids, that goes without saying.
How many children do you
I have 3. I have a 20-year-old who's a pre-med, and then I have a 10-year-old boy and a girl that's about to be 8 in about a month. And so that's obviously my number 1 passion. The second is home design. Third is cars. I love
Yeah.
cars.
Cars.
I love cars
Cars.
and car design. So I don't care what car I buy. I don't care what it is. I'm always going to change something about that car just because I want to, because I want to make it mine. I'm not talking about crappy, stupid.
No, that's why I'm
shitty
laughing.
stuff. I'm like, I
if you
love
can see what he's
cars.
working on right now. It's pretty crazy.
What do you do to it? Like, what's an example?
Well, what I'll do so it depends on the car, right?
Uh-huh.
So I like sports cars. I love sports cars.
Right.
So what I'll do on any sports car is usually I will work on the suspension. So I'll lower the car a little bit, make it perform a little better, tighten the suspension, change the exhaust note, and put better wheels and tires on it. And then I start playing with the interior.
I'm like thinking of Pimp My Ride right now.
No.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, dude, that was a cool
you took the words out of my mouth. I was actually going to say Pimp My Ride, but that's not it. So no, but
It's like it's fur inside.
No fur.
I'm kidding.
But I have a car. One of the cars I'm working on right now. It's a 1990 Porsche, so it's a 30-year-old car, and then it's a 1999 11, and I basically took out the whole interior.
It's gutted.
It's gutted. I took out the whole interior, and I do this at home. So I have a 4-point lift in my garage.
I was going to say, just for those who don't know what that is.
Does that come with the house when you sell it?
That depends if somebody wants to buy it.
It's true.
This 4-point lift it's something you'd see in a professional garage. Like, really, it's the real deal, where you can actually stack a car. So it's really a 4-car garage.
It's a 4-car garage, and the garage is air conditioned, so I can actually work on the cars. But I love cars. I love cars, and there's a story. So when I was like probably 7-8 years old, I loved those little Hot Wheels cars or little Matchbox cars. And I remember very well my dad walking into my room when I was like 9 and asking me, "Aren't you too old to play with these cars?" And I swear to God, I said this to him, "Dad, I'm going to play with cars for the rest of my life." And I meant, what I meant back then is the little Matchbox cars. I didn't know that I was going to graduate. So I basically got from that to model cars, to radio control, to go-karts, to racing. So I did Porsche Club racing a lot.
Oh, wow.
And then when I have kids.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, when I had kids, I quit racing because I don't want to, I just, I don't want to put myself at risk when I have little ones that are counting on me.
Okay, that is very admirable. Very, very much so.
So you're an artist, though.
You should
at the end of the day.
It's funny you say that because I'll say this. Okay, so I actually talked to a shaman a few days ago. If you told me to talk to a shaman a year ago, and I said, fuck off, because that's who the hell. A shaman, I don't even know what it is. The shamanism is like one of the oldest forms of religion. So a shaman is someone who's kind of connected to the spiritual world.
Okay.
And so if you're having some sort of unclarity or uncertainty or something, he or she may or may not be able to help you kind of figure out what your subconscious is trying to tell you. So I met with a shaman, and the clarity part was, I love this. I feel like I'm on the right track. I don't want to materialize it. I'm not looking to make buku bucks. Yes, of course, I want to make money for my time, but that's not the driver behind it. My goal here is to go from someone who nobody knows to someone who's like, wow, this guy builds a great house. I want to continue. Like I'm hoping my house gets sold to maybe a celebrity or someone who's kind of connected. So when their friends come over, like, hey, who built your house? He built my house.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And it's not just for the money. I truly think that there's a giant chasm. There's a big gap right now in what people think contemporary is.
Absolutely.
And I want to help to kind of put that together. And I'm not an architect. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a designer, but I have a passion for it. And I think that sometimes
but
passion.
I think she's right. Like, you're an artist.
Well, passion goes beyond. So the shaman said, I want to tell you who you are. I said, who am I? He goes, you're an artist. I was like, great. I can't draw for shit, but I guess I'm an artist. That's fine.
Well, I can't draw, but I can dance. I mean, I'm an artist.
It
and
comes out in
my own right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think artist is just the creative mind.
Right.
With that. And it comes from inspiration. And I guarantee, like, whatever you're going through in life, like, your houses will look different by your own life
it will. Like, I'm already designing
sure.
my next house.
Mm-hmm.
I've already thought about how it is. And like, my son, when he was like, he talked really late. And we thought maybe he's on the autism spectrum. It turns out that he's not. Even if he was, it wouldn't change a thing. But like my son, so this is where I can do visual spatial. So I can envision 3D objects really, really well and how they look. My son does the same thing. So if you watch my son eat with a fork, he looks like a special needs kid. He can't use a fork. But if you watch him build Legos, he can literally take a Lego instruction book, hold it upside down. He can look at an instruction book while it's upside down, turn sideways, and orient the object correctly per that instruction book. And that I can't even do that. So there's people that have special skills, and like for me, I lost my credit card at home. I've literally
That's
thrown
a special skill.
I've literally thrown my keys
You're
away.
spending this
Like,
credit card.
I remember I'm talking,
right.
I'm talking to Bernie on the phone. I have the credit card in my hand, and afterwards, like, Bernie, can you send me some good vibes? Because I lost the credit card. I don't know where it is. So I lose stuff all the time. I get disoriented very quickly. But when it comes to focusing on this, I can sit for hours and hours and hours and focus on every last detail. It's just something I like.
Absolutely.
So to speak about to his son, it's really interesting. So the first time I brought Jet over there, so Jet's 9. Jet's every bit of 9. He wants to play. He's just 9, and then right. So the idea is, hey, we'll get the kids together. They can play. Noah's 10. Jet's 9. They'll get together and play. And we get there, and Noah is more involved. Like he has, and I've said this before. He's like an older soul, and I swear, when it's like he can have a conversation with us about cars, and I'm telling you, he can have a real, legit, like very present. I mean, he understands what I'm talking about. I'm a car fanatic. He is also. So we'll talk about these multi-million-dollar hypercars, but he speaks on like not a 10-year-old level of cars or something he's involved in. He talks on a 40-something-year-old person. It's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Now, we learned all about your home building amazingness.
Section 2.
Section 2. This is kind of important. When I met you, we found out that Amr likes to travel, travels for business or whatever, and that he uses international dating sites. Until I met you, I did not even know that existed.
I knew it existed.
Weird?
I just didn't.
I didn't think about it.
I knew it. I'd heard it existed. I just had never known anyone who had used it, because in my mind, there's enough of a shit show of dating in locally. So I didn't think it would be. I just didn't think about it until we had the conversation.
Right.
So say pretend you go to Italy in 2 weeks. Then do you start now?
Okay, so
do you say
how does it work? No, how does it work?
Do you use it when you get there?
No, it's not that cut and dry. So basically, for example, I'll give you a real life example. So I was traveling to Dubai several years ago when I was doing the private equity. When I ran a private equity, I was going to Dubai to meet with some potential investors on this large deal I was working on. I was trying to raise money for it. I went to Dubai through a mutual friend. He said, I have people you should meet. Come to Dubai. Okay, cool. So I'm going to be there for 2 weeks. Are you going to be available all 2 weeks? He's like, no, I'm going to be with my wife and kids. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do alone? He's like, well, and he told me, he said, there's an international website called International Cupid. And so I go to it, and it at first I'm like, this is like a freaking mail order bride website, man. He's like, no, it's not. You can literally just meet people and you just be honest. So I put in Dubai, and there was people that was meeting. So it turns out I met a Russian girl who was traveling to Dubai for the week, and she was doing the same thing. It's like if you do Tinder,
Bumble or Tinder.
If you do Bumble or Tinder, you go to Las Vegas, you do Tinder Las Vegas or Bumble Las Vegas. It's the same kind of thing, but I'm not looking to form a relationship. I'm just like someone to hang out with, whatever. So that's how I did it. And I'm still friends with her today since 2016.
Oh, wow.
And I'm probably she has moved since to the Dominican Republic. I'll probably go visit her at some point, but maybe I'm willing to do that because I grew up, in Egypt. I moved here when I was 10 years old. So I still had friends that were very close to me in Egypt. And then my father sent me to Germany and Brazil for soccer camp a couple of times. And so I met friends at soccer camp that I'm still close to today.
This reminds me of you.
Yeah. So having international friends, there's absolutely
the international side of the table is on
right.
Yes.
So I have a very, very close friend who's in Belgium. I have one in Germany, a few in Egypt. So for me, the world now is as close as a phone call or a text. So why not?
I think it's awesome.
What's been cool about the Russian one is that she's a surgeon. So it's pretty cool, and that they're like quality. I mean, when we had the conversation, I'm like, that's pretty badass.
Yeah.
So
I was like, hey, if you can travel to Dubai in your own dollar, that's a step. That's great. That's really good.
So then tell us about your one experience.
Oh, the shit show experience.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We could do a show just on that one.
If we do that one, I'm worried that nobody's going to go to my website after that.
We just want to hear a short version.
So the short version is I was traveling. I wanted to travel to Spain and Portugal. I'd never been to Portugal. I wanted to travel to Portugal. So I went to the site. This was back, probably November. I met a girl. She's Brazilian, lives in Portugal with her son. Her ex-husband is Portuguese. Beautiful, like drop dead gorgeous. And obviously I'm like, wow, she's holy cow. So anyways, so I traveled to Portugal. I do my own thing. And then I meet up with her a few times and we hit it off. And so I invited her to come back to Dallas to visit. And, at that time I was thinking, well, come back to Dallas and visit. And you know what? Maybe you can extend your stay. Who knows? Because I'm thinking, God, this girl's awesome. And so she comes back to Dallas somewhere around February timeframe. I can't remember.
This past February.
February 2020.
And she brings her son with her. He goes to like a private school there, so they have flexibility. She brings him here. She stays for a couple of weeks, and then I was like, hey, do you want to extend your stay? She's like, yeah, sure, I'll extend my stay. So she extended her stay, and we actually enrolled her son in the local school in my city. And, it turns out even if you're visiting under a visitor visa, as long as you have residency or you have a place to stay, you can go to school. So we enrolled him in school, and then COVID hit. And then she was like just super scared to travel. It wasn't that the borders were closed, but at first she was like, well, can I wait a week or two? And I'm thinking, yeah, you can wait 10 weeks if she's hot. So I'm like, well, why not? And we're going to, but the thing is, she doesn't speak English at all. Zero. Her son doesn't speak English. So when I met her online, we were communicating with Google Translate. And when I met her in Portugal for the first time,
we were communicating with boobs and ass.
No. There was no boobs and ass yet because she was still online. So how good could it be?
Funny.
So when I went over there, I was literally like translating with Google Translate.
Dude, that's insane.
Seriously.
Right there.
And I'm learning, I'm picking up, and because I don't care, I'll make mistakes, and I know that when she talks to me, I'm talking like at a first grade level, if that, maybe like a kindergartner level. So
how are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but you saw the video. I can speak now fluently. So anyway,
that's pretty impressive that you took COVID to learn another language.
How many months? By the way, how many months?
She was stuck here for 4 months. 4 months, and it was like the last probably month and a half was just horrible on both of us because look, she doesn't speak the language. Her poor kid is stuck here. He doesn't have his friends. I mean, yeah, she's a single mom and she was under tremendous pressure and she's scared to put her kid on a plane. And I'm not going to say, hey, I don't give a shit, fly. I'm not going to do that. And so we were pretty much living together after knowing each other for 2 weeks. For 4 months without the language, with nothing. And then when my kids would come over, they're like, oh God, Dad's speaking Portuguese again. We have no idea what the hell's going on. And so it took its toll on everybody, and needless to say that's a done deal.
But how long did it take you to start? So how did you get, because you speak it. It's really impressive. You showed me a video where he's actually speaking
it's
Portuguese.
It's so impressive.
How did you, so what'd you do to go learn it?
Nothing.
Rosetta Stone? Did you go online?
No, I tried to do there's something called Duolingo. I think Duolingo, I did that for a while and then I just spoke it. So what I would do is like when she would send a message, she would send a message in Portuguese and I would just basically translate it, but actually understand it.
And then say it.
Yeah. And
I
took 4 years of Spanish in high school, but it's not the same. In fact, Spanish makes it more confusing. It's easier if you just don't know Spanish at all.
That's crazy. Yeah. That is insane.
See, I learned English with the $25,000 pyramid. I watched that.
There you
know why?
Yeah.
Because it would like ask the question and then it would be described. So that's how I learned it.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I did not know that.
$25,000 pyramid, Wheel of Fortune, and then soap operas.
There you go.
Soap operas. Imagine that.
That helps me.
Funny.
All that.
That is crazy.
So, and she didn't take any time to learn English, so I guess I didn't let her. I mean, I didn't give her reason to. I guess I didn't.
You learned her.
I just learned her language. That wasn't the plan. She was supposed to learn English. But it worked out the other way.
Everything worked out the other way.
So now my friends want me to go to Brazil with them so I can speak to girls.
Of course.
Portuguese.
Wingman it for me. Wingman it for me.
Brazilian women are like the hottest, aren't they?
So I've dated a Brazilian woman before, and there's something about, I don't know, there's some, like, I've yet to meet a Brazilian who didn't have like an amazing ass. They're known for ass.
Oh my God.
It's just
it's genetically.
It's like a genetic.
It's genetics.
I mean, is that what it is?
Oh my
God,
God,
it is just like, it's a different level. Like, I mean, every Brazilian I've ever met, I've only dated one, and she's still memorable.
But here's the thing.
So why are you not with her?
Well, because you can't live on just ass and physical the whole time. Super cool. But
right. So, like for instance,
really
there's the
but you've
price.
never forgotten her ass.
Never.
No, I haven't either. I mean, it's just, the girl is incredible. It's like it's beyond incredible. But I do know that she lived with me for 4 months. I could have asked her to stay, and I was thankful that she left.
And you don't miss her.
And I do. I miss the physical aspect. That's it. I don't miss her presence whatsoever because it was like poisonous. Literally, I mean, it was just and for as hot as she is. And I hate to say this, but I wish she can get out of it because she has no reason to be insecure. But she was so gorgeous yet so insecure, so jealous, so possessive. I'm like, so the dynamic was just bad because I'm social. I go out. I have friends. That are girls. There's nothing wrong with that. But she was so controlling, so possessive, and that wasn't going to work anyway.
My dating experience, with that being said, in my dating experience, it feels like this is, again, my bias experience, right? From real situations. As I've dated older women in my age group, right, in her 40s and whatnot, there seems to be most of the time a consistency with a fear of being me or someone cheating on them with somebody younger. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I comprehend why. But there's just this innate crazy gene that I've experienced that there's just a controlling or a fearful or whatnot. It's insane.
A lot of it is fear.
Yeah.
And I think
they don't want it to happen somebody else has done it to them.
Well, right.
They don't want it to happen again.
Right.
And it must have hurt so bad for someone else to do it.
Right.
But I'm always big on, you can't bleed on me. Like,
no.
Can't let somebody else's bullshit.
You know that it's a big thing. I heard this a long time ago somewhere that men usually do not leave a woman for age, weight, looks. It's more how you make them feel. And if you make the man feel a certain way,
Sure.
then it doesn't matter all that other stuff.
Well, that's absolutely correct. Because if you think about it, so of all people, she's a beautiful woman. It's just objectively, she's beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. That's just objective. Okay. So there's no subjectivity in that. It's just straightforward. So when you think about, why did your ex-husband cheat on you? What the hell is he thinking? Is he stupid? And then I'm like, after living with her for a few months, I'm like, okay, now I know why. Because
it's true.
That's great.
And it's not that she's a bad person. She's a sweetheart. She has a kind heart, amazing laugh, good human being. There's absolutely nothing wrong with her as a human being. She's amazing. But it's this controlling thing that makes you feel like, what am I, 5 years old? You can't do that to me. I'm not a dog on a leash.
It's like a demasculation of things.
It's almost like, it makes you feel like when someone doesn't trust you, even though you've done nothing wrong, it makes you feel like a piece of shit. You're like, why don't you trust me? Why can't you just, you're trusting me. You're sleeping in the same house with me. Your child is here. Obviously you trust me with that. So how could you not trust me to go home with my friends?
Feel like, I've known you for such a short time. I feel like you would be extremely trustworthy. That's like the vibe I get.
Look, the point where I get to where I don't want to be with a woman, or I don't want to be with a particular friend, or I don't want to be in this job, or I don't want to eat at this restaurant, I'm going to leave. I'm not the kind of person that's going to finish my food just because I paid for it. If it tastes like shit, I'm leaving it. I pay for it and I go. But I'm not going to get an upset stomach just because I paid for the food. That's stupid.
That was probably one of the best analogies of how to go.
Well, you take your loss and you move on.
Yeah.
Well, because your loss is going to be a bigger loss if you stay in the situation.
Yeah.
Right.
It's dating's interesting now because it's true. It is like, it seems to be, I date plenty, but it seems to be just a consistent
You date a
show.
lot.
I do date a lot.
I feel like we need a scroll.
We don't need a dating.
But here's the thing about it.
But that is a different show.
No, I know. I just
But
think
it
it's
goes
funny.
like that. At where I'm at in life, I know what works and what doesn't work,
No, I
and
think
not
it's great.
arrogantly. Yeah, I don't know, and not in an arrogant way of like it doesn't work. Because I genuinely want to find we all want to find our person, right? We've all had this conversation.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if it doesn't work, it's just I'm not gonna. There's not
Don't
an
waste your
arrogant
time.
way. It's not arrogantly saying. It's just like I don't want to waste my time. Like,
No, I don't blame you.
I see a red flag now, and before I'd been like, the flag. We've had this conversation. The flag is pink.
I think it does happen though as you get older.
For sure.
I think when you're younger, the red is super bright, and you're like, oh fuck it.
It's okay. Yeah. But now it's like I got the backstage passes to that one. I got the poster, and I went floor seats to that fucked up show. I'm done.
Yeah.
So,
as long as you
more.
stay realistic with no one is perfect.
Absolutely.
And what are those red flags and what can you work with?
Yeah, for sure.
That's the most important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't think you can work with red flags. I differ.
No.
So I think like if the flag is red, it's red.
No,
like if it's orange, maybe yellow.
Well, and especially
Well,
at our age,
that is
right?
true.
Once someone is set in their ways,
No, he's right.
They're
because
set in their ways.
The red flags you shouldn't work with.
If it's
That's
red flag,
absolutely
it's
right.
a red flag. It's red.
That is
we did that on our show
I have
about
never
the
done-
pre-marriage thing. We're like red
We're
flags.
still going to
Yeah, I
continue
can't
that today.
We are.
But it's time to go to our party with Miss Polly.
Miss Polly, she here today.
It's time to party with Miss Polly.
No,
When are we getting her back?
Number one. Oh, I don't know why I said one because nobody
I don't
knows
know.
that. What is it really like to have a foot fetish? She says, first and foremost, Miss Polly does not have a foot fetish. However, those that do generally find some type of sexual stimulation from either looking at or playing with the feet. It is one of the most mainstream kinks. Some of those with a foot fetish enjoy certain parts of the foot or certain size feet. They may get turned on massaging them or even like having a foot job where they masturbate
I've
with the
seen
feet.
that porn before.
Some are
Very short.
really?
It wasn't like it didn't do it for me. But I
No.
was kind of like, that's fucking weird more than anything.
Some are turned on by having their own feet massaged or played with. This could have something to do with how many nerve endings are located in the feet. Tickling, rubbing, massaging all feel more intense on your feet. Some of those with this fetish may like to kiss, suck, or lick their partner's toes or feet, but may not be interested in having their own licked or kissed. There are endless
That's
scenarios
interesting.
for them.
Fucking really interesting.
One of my exes had the biggest foot
Really?
fetish.
So what was
Keith
that?
Moses.
Oh, I didn't know
about that.
Oh
I forgot
my
clearly.
God.
So,
So-
wait, he loved your feet, or he loved it when you?
He actually said that my feet was like part of the reason why we broke up. Because I
You
have
got
such
bunions and corns and all that?
No, not at all. No, because
I would
have
expect with dancers.
You got big feet.
though. I know.
no. I will answer. Be like,
totally-
shut up. Damn. I'm like,
totally
no.
destroyed her life, right? Big
No.
feet, corns, bunions, all of it.
My feet aren't bad on the top. It's the because they say if you work out with your hands, you have calluses.
Calluses.
Right.
Well, I dance all day long. The bottom of my feet are like somebody's hands, so I'm barefoot. I'm dancing.
She also used to.
I mean, I was a ballerina.
I just
so-
think of Keith saying, "Look,
No,
it's
it
not
wasn't
me,
that. That's
it's your
not how we
feet."
broke up. No, he just would laugh later like it was a joke. But I think that he was actually, I do know one of his ex-girlfriends who he did get off by licking her toes.
I've
Like-
never gotten into that. Like that's not even
And he loved
something.
my mom's feet. He loved everybody's
Was he
feet.
always massaging your feet?
No,
He was
not
never massaging
They
them,
would
but he
talk
would
about
look
them.
at them and always go,
Oh,
"You
your
have way better
feet."
feet than Marcella's
Yeah.
feet."
It's so funny.
Wow.
I don't know. I've never.
So he can get off just going to the beach.
Man, I'm telling you, right? For sure.
Literally. It's
Yeah.
like,
No, it's-
that's a porno for
That's
him.
just insane. So I don't know if it's like I'm very sexual. I can look at all aspects of intimacy and sex and appreciate almost aspects of it. But I've worked in foot and ankle surgery since 2011.
That's right.
And so specifically, I'm in the OR and I get to see some of the most nastiest shit. Like I get to see wounds, I get to see fractures, bunions, corns, hammer toes,
Right.
like everything. So there's just nothing. I can appreciate a woman's foot like in stilettos or heels where I'm like,
Yeah.
just nice feet. And then you see some, you're like, what the fuck? So, but there's never been like a sexual turn on about feet.
Do you like to suck on toes?
Not at all.
No.
It's not something if some girl
I
was,
don't even want that to happen.
that's the thing. But
yeah,
that's like,
I don't want that for me either. Like, I don't want some girl sucking on my toes. What the fuck?
if I mean most
I'm
things,
so ticklish. No, thank you.
see, I don't feel that. I'm not ticklish completely, but if a girl's like, "Hey, can I suck on your toe?" I'd be like, "Okay." There'd be no like turn on to
I
it.
don't like it.
But it wouldn't be a turn on to it.
It actually
And-
turned me off, dude, because I'd be like, you're sucking on my toe and I'm going to kiss you with that same mouth. thanks. I'm good because I walk around bare feet, man. I'm walking around like inside, outside, and you guys suck on my toe. No, I'm just.
Well,
You know,
hopefully
there's
it's
some
clean.
There's some
Well, but
nasty
still,
motherfucker who's not
it's a
going to
toe.
care though. There's going to be like, "Ooh, I don't care." It's not because if you have a foot
that
fetish,
person can go to my OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, there's OnlyFans.
We talked
There
about
is.
that.
dude, that's right.
Yeah.
I've
Have we
seen
talked
that.
about
Have
this,
you
though?
started it?
No, not yet. I mean, I started it. I just don't have anything on there yet. I haven't had time.
He's
What is
gonna
yours
do
going to
it.
be
Where's your
about?
first?
I don't
Feet.
know what. Yeah, I'm gonna do put my feet on it.
Dude,
Have
I
you talked
can't-
about this
We
though?
got to
There is
download that one. I want to see
wait,
this.
wikifeet.com.
No way.
What?
There's an entry in here for one Marcella Ranieri.
I know. Yeah, you found
Oh,
that.
that's right.
I
I did forget.
It's a. What is it? What's my score?
You have okay feet.
Show me.
My feet.
But
Are,
there's
No,
like
not your
pictures
feet.
and
Show
stuff
me on
too.
your-
That's freaky.
oh yeah. My pictures from like Instagram.
Yeah, there's.
Did you make it or someone else made
No,
it?
it's like a.
That's
somebody-
creepy.
What is
Somebody
it called?
rates like celebrities
Wiki
and
feet.
people.
Wiki.
So
feet.
WikiFeet, so they take pictures, like they steal pictures from Instagram and they rate the feet.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Wow, that's terrible.
Yeah.
Feet.
I'm not offended by that. So I keep my feet nice. Like I get pedicures. And
Let me
stuff. The
see.
top of them are pretty. It's just the bottom.
So is your name on here, Marcella Neri?
I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're about to find out about your corns.
I don't have corns.
just-
You
Well, he
keep
got the
saying
top
that.
of her feet. He didn't see the bottom.
That's right.
It's just callous.
Your name came up in the pop-up thing. I know we're saying
Yeah.
it, but that's kind of fun. Holy shit! There's like a whole thing on
Sorry,
you
there's
here.
no entry for you, Gabby.
This is like a dating profile
No,
deal.
it's kind of freaky.
I know.
Okay, for y'all,
Dude.
Wait, hold on. There's
Yeah, it's my pictures.
So he just stole your pictures off your
Yeah.
Instagram, put them on his site.
a wiki site, I guess.
Wiki feet.
Wiki feet.
Is there something illegal about that? Or is that just like.
I mean, I think because I put my feet out there, or I put my feet.
did your ex do this? Because there's pictures of you all on there.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, there
It's-
is.
Well, I know that, but I don't think we were broken up yet when this came up.
I would be willing to bet it was someone that saw you on Netflix and was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at those feet."
Dancing Queen.
But
yeah,
there-
because it's
but
like a
there's not-
celebrity.
You don't
something.
have any feet shots on here.
No.
It's like
No,
I was like,
no
"Shots
real
your foot,
ones."
feet at all.
I don't know. My mom found it a while ago. She was like, "Look what I found." That's weird. But I am somebody who I like to be barefoot. I think there's a thing.
Me
It's
too.
called grounding and earthing. It's where
Same.
it's
Yes.
very good to be barefoot. It is good to not wear shoes. You should actually work out barefoot. Like the comfortable soles of your shoes are not good for you. It makes, we are not made to be like comfortable in our shoes. So I am barefoot all the time. And I
I'm
like
used to
that.
doing that. I used to hate those. There was those sneakers that came out, those little feet.
Oh, that
yeah,
little
that's-
foot
I
sneakers.
hated those.
Those are
sneakers.
terrible.
I think
now.
those they just look fucking stupid.
They
Yeah.
do.
Well, they
Yeah.
look
So
stupid,
crazy.
but
that
it's also
wiki
good.
feet, that wiki feet thing is a stupid app. There's nothing on there shows feet. I'm sorry, I'm annoyed by it. It's like a stupid app.
I mean,
So.
there's a lot of things that are crazy, but you know.
All right.
Oh yeah.
question of the day.
The two posh girls ask the question of the day.
Wiki feet.
Spider, I'm impressed you found that.
I'm always back here googling what y'all are talking about.
That was quick too.
How to enjoy dating and not taking everything too seriously.
Oh.
Miss Polly. Like, read what
Oh, you want
she
to read
said.
hers first?
Yeah, because she
Number one.
She said, dating, what is that? LOL. I haven't had a date in a very long time. I am too tired to take everything too seriously. Just be yourself. Honestly, it's too exhausting to be someone you're not. Not to mention, if they don't like the real you, why would you stick around anyway?
Read the question again.
How to enjoy dating and not taking everything too seriously.
I'll take this one first.
Go ahead.
So
Go ahead.
it's interesting. Dating's really. I enjoy dating. Right. I don't know. I enjoy the process of it. Sometimes I'm dating so much, not in an arrogant way of like I'm dating so much. Just like there's times I want to do it, and times I don't feel like doing it. So it's I have found on my dates if it's a good connection, maybe it's because where I'm at with just different parts of life, enjoying friendships, enjoying the show, and different things. I've found that it's easier for a date to get more connected to me, to want to make it more serious than it is for me at this point. And so I don't know. I've just kind of have to be.
No, he's not bragging at all.
No, that's not. That's I know.
Are we asking like seriously, like a relationship, like getting
No, it's
serious
just-
fast, or
But I
are we
mean-
saying like not because Miss Polly answered it like not taking everything too seriously, I'm assuming. And then he was saying like serious relationship.
Well, then, but isn't that kind of all the same thing? I'm asking.
I think it means like basically what you are doing, like dating, like you should be able, we say it all the time, like with Gino, for instance. He's a really great example. He's my brother. Son. And he takes it so serious. We always go, you can go on dates. You're not going to necessarily have to marry this girl. Like become friends first. Go to a movie. You can
I'm trying to get
dinner.
him to slut himself out a little bit. He just will not.
Well, I think
you want to follow in your footsteps.
I do. I want him to kind of date.
That was a little bit disastrous when he got into that.
But I didn't find him that girl though, and I didn't get consultated on that last girl at all.
That's true.
That was his own thing, but he had you in his head.
I know he did.
I also think that like taking it too seriously. I think what I'm reading here is not so much like getting serious quickly, but like not feeling like you're in an interview. So don't take the fact that you're going on a date so seriously.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh shit, I'm going on a date. What am I going to do? What am I going to say? What am I going to wear? Just
be normal. Just be yourself. Yeah.
And this has bit me in the ass before. So like, you know, I would say actually with my kiddo's mom, I did everything to make her happy at my expense. And I didn't tell her. And so in her defense, when I finally couldn't continue doing that, you know, I was like, shit, because you do it, you do everything to make the other person happy, right? And you do it from your heart because you really want to make it, but deep down inside, you want them to do the same for you.
Yes.
I have actually been there exactly.
Right, but they can't read your mind. So they're thinking, hey, I have found a diamond in the rough. You're like, perfect. Yeah. You're doing everything that I want and I don't have to do a damn thing. And it's not that they don't want to, but you don't make them feel. You don't reach out and say, "I need this. I need that. I want this." You're not assertive.
Is like word for word,
right?
It's like a boundary that hasn't been set up,
and you don't. And then when you finally do it,
before, right?
then you're shit, you changed.
Yeah.
Oh, you've become a different person. Oh, you're an asshole now. No, I just went 7 years without saying a damn thing. I was expecting you to say something, but that's on me. Yeah. So if you want something, you have to ask for it. But
that's good. That's so fucking good because at the end of the dude,
it's true.
But that comes with age, right? But that comes with age. We've had this conversation, right? And I've same thing. I feel the same way. Where now I'm gonna, if it doesn't work for me, it's not. I mean, I would need upfront to know what my boundaries are, right? Like, my expectations, and I think it's reasonable to set. I won't call them expectations, but boundaries because I think it's one and the same.
But I don't think you have a problem speaking up.
No, but you're right. But you guys, you got a chance to see me kind of evolve in my dating where like, if I don't like it, I'm not going to do it. But I also, when I was married, you know, a lot of times it builds up resentment. And then when the change happens, they're like, the fuck, where did this come from?
Right. Because you actually internally, you're doing something for someone and you love that person. You want to continue doing it for them. But as you're doing and you're not getting what you want back, even though you're not saying a damn thing, you're just expecting it. You're internally resenting that person. You're like, shit, they don't give a damn. I'm doing everything. But that's not fair to them because they don't know. What you want, you know? And
so with that being said, I know we're going to another show in a second, but it goes down to like we were talking about we did the show on pre-marriage kind of deal, right? Like questions to ask before.
One of my favorites.
And it's my favorite show for sure.
And I'm sad you can't stay.
Yeah,
because
it's
we're continuing it, but we got to wrap it up because he has he has to leave.
Well, I promised my kid I would take him for a ride in our project car.
That's awesome.
So I can't break that promise.
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
I just wanted to tell you one more thing because we have said it before and I feel bad that I haven't gotten it done yet, but we are adding a new segment. And Spider, are you prepared to play the intro for it?
Yeah.
Let's do this.
But I just want to say we can't do it yet, but I wanted to just give everyone a little sneak peek of what it's going to be.
Do it.
Yeah, she tried to set it up, but
gotta pull it up.
So you're gonna do the first one?
I'll tell you why not. But I want to do a little sneak peek for our listeners that this is coming next time we record.
So great.
And this is our new segment intro. That's what we're gonna hear.
Yeah.
Come on, Spider. Come on,
Spider.
Working on it. Here we go. I found it.
Did you send that to me? Is that the one you sent to?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
And now, the Two Posh Podcast presents Reading Erotica with Friends.
Friends, the whisper.
Dude, that's gonna be so good.
That's awesome.
So explain this. Explain it.
Well, I was preparing for the show and it's really sad I couldn't pull it off because I wanted Amr to be part of it.
Oh, look,
the
she
first
pronounced
She
it
said it
correctly.
right.
I know,
She's
I got it
wow.
now.
Consider yourself family now.
Yeah,
She knows
exactly.
your name.
I'd love
But-
to be on it when you're
When
you
we're
want.
really doing it, because I had to, it's not that easy to find because you have to find like short stories. I can't do like a long
No.
one,
Right.
just like 5 minutes or what. And I found it, but I didn't realize I had to order the book. So it didn't make it here
Are
on
they
time.
short stories? Like how short?
Short stories, like 5 minutes, like nothing major.
That's gonna be
just,
great.
it's
I
gonna
can't
be
wait
really
to
fun.
see the one I want to see is Marcella read it.
I
She's gonna
just
do
feel
it
like I'm gonna
like
laugh
die the whole
so
time.
hard.
No, I'd love to see it. Like the thing, like for me, like I was never a good reader, right? So when I went to school in Egypt, went to English school, and the professor or the teacher would make us stand up to read, and if you read well, you get to sit down. And I stood up the whole time. I just would like literally arrive to class and just stand up preemptively because I know I'm not going to read for shit.
Dude, that's so.
So I
funny.
can't read I can't read novels. I just lose lose track. Maybe I have ADD. I don't know, but like I can read contracts. I can read business stuff, but I can't read. So I'd be interested to see how well I do on erotica.
It'll be good.
That-
It'll be good.
Yeah.
But what I found out while I'm preparing for this new segment is that you can get paid to read erotica.
You
Wow.
serious?
If you're a girl.
So you go on Fiverr,
I've used Fiverr
You-
before.
advertise yourself as a voiceover artist, and you get literally paid for the shortest
They
little
can
thing.
hire you. People can hire you
$40,
out.
$55. They said it's the fastest, easiest money to make
Guys,
reading
I'd see a
erotica.
little extra
There you
money
go.
right
No
here
shit.
in the
Like,
chat.
why did you
That's
not tell me that
perfect.
before?
I just found on my side.
I will count me in on the read on that one.
I will bet you there are more. I don't know. You think there's more female listeners or male listeners to erotica? I bet you female listeners.
Probably female. They
Way
say
more female
that females
listeners.
read more of this.
Well,
book.
they I think females they can appreciate that more than men. Men want to see it.
Yep, for sure.
Well,
I
there's
mean, I have a
also
whole entire thing on it. What science says, what happens when you read
Oh,
erotica.
that's gonna
But
be
it's
so
gonna be
good.
next time.
Are we doing
yes.
it next time?
Next time we're going to be ready for it because the book
All right.
will be here, and then we're going to do that whole new segment. So I wanted to thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for
Thank
taking the
you.
time
Sure.
coming on the
Thanks, guys.
show. Thank you for listening. I want to make sure
Amari,
everyone,
thank you.
All right.
Amari.
Amar. Make sure everyone subscribe. Please leave us a review.
Yes.
Watch us on YouTube channel, on all the different platforms. We have started a major social media push. So follow us
Absolutely.
on all social media
Yeah.
pages. We're posting every single day. We went all the way backwards, and so it's a lot of fun.
It is. And if you get a chance and when you go see Amr's page, what's
Yes.
an email address they can contact you
Yes.
if they want
Okay,
to?
you can contact me at amr@elboraigroup.com.
Spell that, Elborai.
ELBORAI group.com.
So if you just want to talk to him and can just consult with him, have a conversation, talk about his house, I mean, it's worth looking at. Go look at that house. You guys
Absolutely.
will shit your pants. It's insane.
And I won't ask the realtors to pre-qualify you
No.
because they're pre-qualifying everybody just to keep people from just
Yeah.
hey, let's
Yeah.
go look at the house. But
Yeah.
just email me amr@elboraigroup.com and I'll be
Perfect.
happy to talk to you.
yes,
Awesome.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
so
guys.
much.